What's up, everybody? WA7 PBE here in front of the well, I guess you could tell it's the Lincoln Monument. If you don't know, now you know. I just got done doing an activation here, and I want to talk about some POTA tips and tricks for you all. This is the second time I'm trying out this DJI Action 2 camera, and tell me how it sounds on there, and more importantly, how it looks. But yeah, today I want to talk about POTA tips and tricks, more specifically on how you can get the most contacts out of your activations. And as always, please remember to go ahead and like and subscribe to this video if you like it. And also, if you really like this content, go ahead and maybe consider supporting me on Patreon. That would be nice. Anyways, back to the subject on hand. So if you want to go out and make a ton of contacts over the course of a weekend or maybe even a week, there are a few factors you really need to consider when you're doing your activation. I would say the most important factor you need to consider is time. Exactly what time you plan on doing your activation. So, there's going to be obvious times that are better than others. I can only really speak for the United States, but if you're in another country and something's different for you, I would definitely love to hear about it. Leave it in the comments below. But at least here in the United States, the best time to activate, I would say personally, is on the weekends. Kind of during the day, midday is kind of best, because then you get both coasts. Sorry about that. I wanted to pause it while the jet was going over. But yeah, like I was saying, the best time to activate, I would say, would be on the weekends. Especially holiday weekends. Holiday weekends are really good because a lot of people don't work then. But, during the weekends, holidays are okay to activate. The problem is a lot of times the parks will be a little more busy. So you could find it a little harder to activate during that time. As far as activating time, I'd say is the biggest factor. Seems like every 2 minutes there's a jet going overhead. But the second most important thing to your activation is going to be where you activate from. For instance, I'm here on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. And Washington, D.C. can be a pretty sought-after entity on POTA, as well as some other states like Alaska and Hawaii. If you plan on doing an activation from a place that doesn't get activated a lot, or even an all-time new one, also known as an @no, you may want to go on Facebook or the POTA's page and put up your activation saying, hey, I'm going to be at this park at this time, and it lets people know so that way they can be tuned in to hunt you. And also it'll kind of drive some traffic your way, especially if people are trying to hunt certain places, and especially if you happen to be doing a special event station. But if you're doing a special event station, a lot of times that information already gets out there somehow. Man, I feel like I really did this video at the wrong time of day. There's all kinds of noise around me. Some golf cart just went by me and they're doing some sort of construction, like maybe 100 yards away from me. I feel like I did this at the wrong time of day, guys. But anyways, we're gonna power through this video. So the next point is onto your setup. And I know it's going to be a controversial opinion because people are going to go in the comments and say, well, with only QRP, I worked every state and yada, yada, yada. Okay, but, you have to consider how long did that take you, right? If you want to get a lot of contacts in a short amount of time, what you're really going to need is power, a good antenna, okay? And that should be no secret to any amateur radio operator. Also, more importantly, I would say, is flexibility across the bands. When you go out to the park, you can never really be too sure how band conditions are going to be, right? Like maybe there's a surprise opening on 10 meters. Well, are you prepared to work 10 meters? Or maybe 40 meters is wide open. Are you ready to work 40 meters? Or maybe you're one of the people out there that likes to burn the midnight oil and do 80 meters. Well, do you even have an 80 meter antenna ready to go out of your setup? Just something to think about, you know. Now you can absolutely run QRP with very compromised antennas and get contacts. Tons of people do it. And it can be a lot of fun for some people. For some people, they like to run QRO and say life's too short for QRP. And hey, more power to them. As long as you're having fun, that's kind of what matters, right? And once again, I had to wait till the noise stopped. There's someone like weed whacking like 30 feet away from me. Anyways, the last tip I can offer is effective pileup management. And that is kind of a skill that you have to learn over time. And as a US operator, it's kind of tough to learn that skill, especially on sideband. On digital, it doesn't really matter. On CW, I don't know how you guys do it, to be honest. It's hard enough on sideband, right? So, anyways, yeah, you just need to learn how to effectively manage a pileup. You know, if you go too slow, you might frustrate some of the hunters and they might tune off of you. And by the time they come back, you're already gone. So that's a missed contact right there. I'm going to do another video here shortly, another POTA tips and tricks on how to effectively manage a pileup. What my method is. What you may do is different. I'd say one of the most important things you can do is every 5 minutes or so, pause and say, hey, is there any park to parks, any DX stations? Remember, park to parks, they're going to be running typically low power as well. And you may not hear them as well. Also, conversely, they may not hear you as well. Same thing with DX stations. You know, a lot of DX stations may not be able to hear you as well, and vice versa. So anyways, I think that's going to do it here for this tips and tricks video from the National Mall here on a beautiful September day. I'm going to go and play some more POTA, but I hope you all have a great day, and I will catch you on the next one.